Now let's run Impacket's secret stump to dump all the hashes. Now we simply copy the administrator hash and log in with psexec by passing the hash. That's it. We've gone from completely unauthenticated to domain admin in this environment. Let's hack an entire network from start to finish. We're going to go from completely unauthenticated, as if we walked into somewhere and plugged into an Ethernet port, to domain admin, owning the entire network. Before we begin, we've just released our hacking platform where you can learn both basic and advanced hacking techniques. We also have industry-style challenges where you can test your skills on. Visit hack.cyberplunder.com. Let's first start off with an Nmap scan. First we'll scan all the ports, and then we'll aggressively scan the ports we found. We can see that this is a domain controller from Kerberos ports 88 and LDAP port 389. Let's run enum for Linux to enumerate this domain further. We can see an interesting service account. Let's attempt to attack the pre-authentication phase. Running Impacket's get np users, we get this service account's hash. Let's crack this hash with Hashcat. We found this account's password to be service with a 3. Let's log in with evilwinrm. We've successfully got initial access as the service account. Let's run Bloodhound as a user to try and escalate privileges. Let's upload this data and analyze it. Let's set our account as a starting node and any domain admin account as a target. We can now see a clear pathway and instructions on how to get there. This pathway shows that the Exchange Windows Permissions group has write DACL privileges on the domain. This gives the user the ability to add ACLs to an object. That means you can add this user to a group and give them DC sync privileges. Before we start, let's download the PowerView module and upload it onto our target and then import it. Let's first create a hacker user and add this user to the Exchange Windows Permissions group. Finally, give this user DC sync privileges. Now let's run Impacket's secret stump to dump all the hashes. Now we simply copy the administrator hash and log in with psexec by passing the hash. That's it. We've gone from completely unauthenticated to domain admin in this environment. Let's now summarize what we did. We first attacked the pre-authentication phase on a server's account. This account had this setting off, which allowed us to get his Kerberos hash. We cracked this using Hashcat to reveal the service account's password. We then ran Bloodhound to enumerate the domain and look for privilege escalation paths. The service account was in the Exchange Windows Permissions group, which had write DACL privileges on the domain. We then created a hacker user, added them to the Exchange Windows Permissions group, and gave this user DC sync privileges. We dumped the hashes using the DC sync privileges and logged in using the domain administrator's hash. There were 3 main vulnerabilities that led to full exploitation. The first was pre-authentication being disabled on the service account, which then allowed us to Kerberos this hash and then crack it offline. The next vulnerability was that the password was too weak and crackable. Next, the service account was too privileged as they were put in the Exchange Windows Permissions group, which had write the ACL privileges on the domain, which as a result allowed us to give DC sync privileges to any user. Let's first understand the Kerberos vector, but first let's have a quick overview of Kerberos. Imagine a secure office building. In this office, there's a reception desk, like the domain controller in a computer network, where people check in to get a badge, the Kerberos ticket, before entering the building. Most visitors, when they arrive, they show an ID, like a password, to the receptionist. Only then does the receptionist hand them their personalized badge. This is called pre-authentication. You prove who you are before you get access. For some visitors, with less secure settings, they don't need to show an ID to get a badge. They can just walk up, say a name like, "I'm Alice," and the receptionist just hands over their encrypted badge that only Alice can read because it's locked with her password. This is the vulnerability. These accounts have pre-authentication disabled. So why would an admin turn off pre-authentication? Sometimes it's needed to make some legacy systems work. Sometimes it's for legacy compatibility. Older systems, Linux, printers, legacy apps may not support pre-authentication properly. Other times it's for automation convenience. Some believe it's easier or faster for scripts and background jobs. It could also be a misunderstanding. Admins may wrongly assume the account isn't sensitive or misunderstand the setting. Finally, it could just be quick setups. In low security or rush setups, security is sometimes deferred and never revisited. They might just think, oh, we'll get to it later, and they just never do. Now let's understand attacking this pre-authentication phase. The attacker walks in and says, "I'm Bob." The receptionist gives them Bob's encrypted badge, even though they're not Bob. The attacker can't read it yet. It's still locked. They take it home and try every possible password until one works and unlocks the badge. Once they do, they know Bob's actual password and can pretend to be him, and maybe even get access to more secure parts of the building. This is basically what Impacket's get np users does. It's like an automated assistant that walks around the office and collects all the unprotected visitor badges from the receptionist. It saves them all into a bag and gives it to the attacker so they can crack it offline. That's it. I hope you guys learned something from this video. Remember to like and subscribe, and visit hack.cyberplunder.com for hands-on learning or to attempt a similar industry style challenge.